From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, August 9th. Expect a dry start to your day before some widespread showers and storms slide in by mid-afternoon. Additional development will carry through into tonight. Our Storm Track 8 weather team says there is potential for isolated strong to severe storms during the afternoon and nighttime hours, possibly with damaging winds as the primary threat. Can't rule out an isolated tornado southwest of Indy. There will also be flash flooding concerns along and south of I-70 for areas that receive some heavier rain. Highs in the low to mid-80s also feel more humid once again as the muggy meter rises back up. A grim find at Eagle Creek Reservoir has Indianapolis detectives looking for answers. The Pike Township Fire Chief says a boater found a body floating in the water. It was yesterday evening near the park's boat ramp. Police aren't yet saying if it's a drowning or something else, and authorities aren't releasing the person's name or age. IT Mate was in the courtroom for the first appearance for the only person charged so far in a mass shooting in Muncie. The counts against John Vance Jr. include aggravated battery, unlawful possession of a gun, and criminal recklessness. He is not charged with murder at this point. The gunfire after a fight at a July 30th block party ended with Joseph Bonner dead and at least 18 other people hurt. IT Mate's Cody Fisher talked to the prosecutor.
I would certainly say it's the case with the most victims since I've been prosecutor. I don't know that it's the most complicated criminal case.
Vance faces up to 90 years in prison if he's convicted. His trial is scheduled to start in January. An Indianapolis man has been sentenced to more than 15 years in federal prison on drug charges. Tyler Sanders received a sentence yesterday. He's charged with possession with intent to distribute. According to investigators, Sanders was connected to a drug ring that was trafficking fentanyl and meth from Mexico into Indianapolis. They say IMPD officers pulled Sanders over in April of 2019. Investigators say police found nearly 74 pounds of meth and nearly 9 pounds of fentanyl. Taylor Swift fans across Indiana are asking the same question to each other right now. Did you get a code? Swift is set to perform 3 shows in Indianapolis next year, and the ticket buying process is playing out right now. Those who registered last week either got codes to continue or the bad news that they're on the wait list. Whoever ends up in the seats, the shows are sure to be a boon for the city. Economists say Swift's tour brings big business wherever it goes. The director of research at Ball State's Center for Business and Economic Research says it could be a $100 million windfall. As for ticket sales, they start Friday in a staggered series of start times. The first is 11 in the morning. So people right now who got the email saying they will receive a code, they'll begin to get that today and tomorrow, and then you'll know what times that your code is good for. That should say in the email you already received. For those who are waitlisted, I did a little reading this morning and found out that as the sale moves on Friday, it's possible Ticketmaster will release more tickets, say if people aren't buying as many as possible, or if people bail when ticket prices, the more affordable ones are already gone, so they bail out of the sale entirely. They'll send you a text message and say, hey, you can jump in on the sale. So if you are on the wait list, keep your phone beside you on Friday beginning at 11 a.m. because you do not know whether you might get that text message with a link that takes you to that ticket queue where you can get in line to buy tickets. First come, first served. Westfield city leaders say it may take several more months before they know the future of Grand Park. Leaders announced Monday night a decision might not be reached until after January 1st. Westfield originally planned on selling the 400-acre complex. This was in March of 2022. Officials say that's no longer a consideration, but instead they're looking for someone to take over Grand Park operations. Outgoing Mayor Andy Cook says negotiations are on schedule. In your multicultural spotlight, the ACLU is challenging a state law that lets police keep you away from investigation scenes. It gives police the right to tell citizens to move back 25 feet or risk jail time and a criminal record. The ACLU filed the lawsuit on behalf of a citizen journalist from South Bend. It claims 2 different officers told him to move back 25 feet, forcing him to move back a total of 50 feet. The citizen journalist filmed part of the exchange. You can see that video on wishtv.com right now. The ACLU argues the wording of the law makes it so multiple officers can tell people to move back over and over again. The organization says the law gives police unbridled discretion.
Law enforcement has a difficult job And in no way do we want to make it more difficult. But if you're going to have a law that requires people to be pushed back, there has to be a reason.
News 8 also reached out to the bill's author for comment. Republican Representative Wendy McNamara told us she would like to pass on the request. The Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission says it's planning to hold a meeting to discuss AES Indiana's response to summer storms. The commission made the announcement yesterday. It says it will ask AES for a summary of the storms in late June and early July, including the storm's impact, the number of customers affected, and the company's response. The commission says the meeting is only for information gathering purposes. It has not determined whether it will investigate the utility company. AES vows it will be open and transparent in addressing any concerns. In a statement to News 8, the company says, "We are committed to the safety and reliability of the service we provide to Central Indiana. The storm response meeting will provide Indiana utilities an opportunity to hear lessons learned from the restoration process we all experienced, which can benefit future storm responses." The meeting is set for September 11th. It is Art and Nature Day at the Indiana State Fair. Newfield says it will set up 2 selfie stations with artsy backgrounds and will offer discounted memberships to Newfields. Three Dog Night is on the free stage at 7:30 tonight. Gates are open from 9 to 9. Today also marks the formal unveiling of the cheese sculpture. Former President Donald Trump is vowing to keep talking about his criminal cases despite prosecutors seeking a protective order. He made the statement during a campaign event in New Hampshire yesterday.
They indicted your president, your former president, who is very popular, 75 million people. They indicted him. So now they ripped off the top, they took the gloves off, and we can say whatever we want.
Trump also blasted special counsel Jack Smith in his remarks, calling him deranged and a thug prosecutor. Trump is facing charges in Washington, D.C., Florida, and New York, and could face a 4th indictment in Georgia. The former president has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. Senator Todd Young is reacting to these latest charges against Trump. Young spoke to our All Indiana Politics team. He's been sharply critical of Trump in recent months and says he will not support him in the Republican primary. But Young says the legal process does have to play out.
Very serious charges, and they need to be taken seriously. They should not in any way be diminished or dismissed by Americans. That's why I'm not doing that. But I would also say that President Trump, whatever one thinks of him, is deserving of due process, and we'll have to make sure that that indeed takes place in coming months.
Young says he has not decided which fellow Republican he'll back in the primary. Ohio voters have resoundingly rejected a Republican measure that would have made it more difficult to pass abortion protections. Yesterday's vote keeps in place a simple majority threshold for passing future changes to the state constitution instead of a 60% supermajority. President Biden praised the vote, saying democracy won. Republicans who pushed the measure say they didn't have enough time to adequately explain it. The federal government says 2023 has seen the most billion-dollar weather events in more than 40 years. The data comes from the National Centers for Environmental Information. The report identifies 15 weather events this year where costs and damages have exceeded $1 billion. It says that is the highest number since 1980. According to the report, weather disasters have cost nearly $40 billion this year. And one ticket is a winner in Mega Millions. The lottery says a single ticket purchased in Neptune Beach, Florida, hit all of the numbers in last night's drawing, breaking a 4-month jackpot dry spell. Sales did even better than expected this week, building the prize up to $1.58 billion. Tops all time for Mega Millions and trailing only 2 Powerball jackpots for largest all time in America. No word yet who won it or which store sold it. In business headlines, Jane King explains how the federal government is working to stop robocalls.
The Federal Trade Commission and more than 100 federal and state law enforcement partners nationwide, including attorneys general from all 50 states, announced a new crackdown on illegal telemarketing calls involving more than 180 actions targeting operators responsible for billions of calls to U.S. consumers. One way to reduce robocalls is by registering at the donotcall.gov or call 888-382-1222 from the number you want to register. If you happen to pick up a telemarketing call, ask the person for their name and organization and report that to the Federal Trade Commission. You can also ask the caller to put your name on their Do Not Call registry. It can take up to 31 days for the sale calls to stop once you've registered. Don't worry if they don't stop the next day. Unfortunately, scammers do not care about the Do Not Call registry, so you may still get some annoying calls from time to time. You can always block them by clicking on the number and touching Block This Caller from your smartphone. There are also apps to block callers. These include RoboKiller, Hiya, and Nomo Robo. Also, political parties, charities, and nonprofit organizations will still be able to call you. That approach will only weed out the sales calls. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King.
This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.